Welcome back. Now is a discussion segment of the show. Yeah, it's still Daybreak Africa, reaching live from the Lagos studios of KAFTAN Television, and now we'll be discussing period child preparation for the new academic session. We all know that this is the holiday season, and then many people are, preparing for the new term, making decisions whether to change schools or not, getting supplies for the new term, and just to make decisions around, the new term. And today we have Irene Ugba, who is an educationist, and will be discussing the topic with us. Welcome to the show, ma.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to have you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to you.
Yes, ma. So let's start with this. How has the holiday session been for you? Like, how is it like? Is it demanding? You have kids around. How has it been? How's your experience been so far?
Oh, well, it has been a cocktail of different things. I have 4 children, and then their age ranges are far apart.
Okay.
So I'm dealing with children of different ages from 18 to 1.
Wow.
During the holidays, like every other parent, you're happy your children are back home. At least that early morning rushing out, trying to make meals, trying to do school runs, won't be there for a few weeks. However, when the reality sets in is that these children eat like 5 to 7 times a day.
Can imagine.
Somebody said that when you have one child, you're a parent. When you now have 2 or more children, you become a referee. So at every time you're hearing mommy this, daddy that, mommy, especially mommy who is more at home than daddy most times, and this happened, that happened, mommy, this person did me this. So you're a referee at some point, trying to separate things and all. But again, we thank God for the privilege to be parents.
Yeah.
It's a calling, and we're glad that God has chosen us to give us this gift to parents.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, before we go on to preparing for the new academic session, I want to take us back a bit. Like after every session, like this August break, yes, there is there's a time for the set time for summer coaching, where we always have to take our kids. We also experience that at some points. We call them holiday lesson. but I think now they call it summer coaching. Now we have seen some parents who are of the opinion that they cannot allow their children to attend summer coaching. They prefer their children to stay in school, to stay at home rather. Yeah. While some literally push their kids out to go to the summer coaching. When we were growing, we were of the opinion, or our parents were of the opinion that when you go for summer coaching, you tend to understand what they teach you better, so that by the time you resume the new session, you learn easily. Now, as an educationist, what's your take on this? Will you really advise parents to take their children, to let their children go for summer coaching, or would you rather tell them to just sit at home?
In addition to what she has said, that was the question I was about to ask. Do you think that it's more preferable to allow your kids learn, skills, or maybe tech skills, some other thing, maybe any handwork, than go to the school lessons? Because of course that's still academics, during the August break.
Okay, truly, there's no right or wrong answer. This is a question that doesn't have yes or no. Because it depends on what a parent, I tell parents that when the holidays, everybody has, you as a parent should have what you want your child to achieve during the holidays. And for some parents, they'll go off for summer holidays, and for those summer holidays, they've already planned, we're visiting here, which is also education. We're going to visit here, we're going to go to this mountain, we'll go to this camp, we'll go to Disney and all. That's a form of education those parents are doing. For some, you might not go to any summer school, and mind you, even the summer schools, the schools themselves have rejigged the summer schools they have. I don't think a lot of schools now do not have completely 100% academics, for summer school.
Yes,
you see them including coding, crafts, painting, pottery, cooking, and then some level of numeracy, literacy, English, basic science, and things like that. You know, so a lot of the schools too have made it more practical. Then you now have parents who decide, oh, you're not going anywhere, you're at home. And while at home, I'm hoping they are also engaging them productively, that they're not just at home watching TV all through, you know, and even TV, there should be some content and say, okay, go to YouTube, watch so and all. So it all depends on what the parents have planned out and what vision you have for your child. For instance, a parent whose child came back and did not do well in maths and English and all, I tell you, don't kill that child. Allow the child have a holiday, but in between the holiday, plan activities that will also help to boost the child. In education, there's something we call summer slide. What is summer slide? When children come back to school in the next 1 or 2 weeks now, you're going to be seeing where a child who could actually write maybe 1 to 15, who could count, and so on. You know, they say it's a slide. You see that the child has nosedived to almost ground zero. So we call it summer slide, you know. And in school, it's expected that there will be some level of summer slide when the pupils are back. You know, they might not be able to do what they were doing exactly, you know, but that is not a challenge. Once you brush them up again, they peak. But I'm hoping that parents should productively engage their children, whether it's a summer school, let it be a summer school that incorporates other hands-on activity, whether your child traveled with you, let it not just be eating of just pizzas and ice cream, let there be learning in that traveling. Whether the child is at home, let there be also learning taking place. And when I say learning, I'm not just talking of English and maths.
Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, so let's move on to the topic. The topic again is parents-child preparation towards the new term. Now, we see that there are many decisions when it comes to parents, you know, preparing for the new term. There are many decisions that they take. Now, you can see some say, oh, they want to change the schools of their kids, of their, you know, their children, or for some, they say, okay, this time we're not going to get new supplies, you know, you better use your, I was speaking to somebody earlier during the week, and then I was like, okay, for some people, they'll tell you, use your old bag, old shoes, and all of that. And then for some, they expect that, okay, you get them new school supplies. So let's start from the point of changing schools. What do you think parents should do when it comes to, you know, these kinds of decisions? What do you think they should look at when it comes to stuff like this? Because you say that many times you see people want to change schools for one reason or the other. For some, not necessarily because of the content or because of what the teachers or what the school stands for. What maybe for some it could be like, oh, because my friends' kids are attending this school, let them also attend this school because so everybody can be together and all of that. So what are the things that, you know, parents should look into when it comes to maybe changing school if there's going to be something like that for them?
Okay, we have to look at the dynamics now, the economic dynamics of the country. You know, I am presently outside the country, but again, of course, I heard the news. I've not been around for 2 months. You see the level, the price of fuel right now.
Exactly.
That is a major challenge when it comes to children going back to a particular school this September.
Yes.
I kid you not, there will be changing. There will be changing, there will be reshuffling, because, you know, the fuel crisis or the increase in price of fuel happened at the middle of third term.
Yes, exactly.
And of course, parents just say, let's manage. A lot of parents, let's manage and let the child finish. I mean, by the time I was traveling, my daughter's school bus was increased. The one was increased by 45%. The other one was increased by 150%.
Wow. That's a lot.
That is a lot, you know. So I know that the dynamics that will be playing out now is parents looking at opportunity costs. What is the opportunity cost of my child going to a school when I'm staying in Surulere and my child is going to a school that is in probably Yaba or even further than Yaba? I'm just giving you an example. So you're going to be seeing parents looking inwards. Parents are going to be looking, and they're already doing that, because you don't even want a situation where your child is stranded.
Very true.
When the child gets to school and then you don't have enough fuel to come back to pick the child, or the school bus is so high that, you know, even you might not be able to meet up paying that. So you see that the fundamentals that play out now will be, you know, economics. What if we are going to put this child in a school close by home, where the child will trek, where they go in groups? So you're going to also have people even pulling together. Like even in the estate I reside in Abuja, you know, you will see people pulling, because before people were going to the same school and all the parents were using their cars.
Their cars.
But you're going to be seeing that now, that we say, okay, maybe you do school runs this week, I will do next week, and so on. Because you have to be realistic with the economic challenges. A lot of salaries have not increased, but the bills have increased tremendously. So, as parents, sit with your children. I know sometimes children have their own expectation of where they should go to school. And really, the Bible says the expectation of the righteous should not be cut short. But you see, in this case, this expectation might be cut short, but you need to communicate with your child and say, okay, look at the situation right now. You might have to go to a school close by home so that you trek, which is like 5 minutes or 10 minutes away, or the house help can take you and come back and all, and you are home on time, and then you're not stranded because of fuel. And it's not even just about the fuel price. There could be days where there are fuel queues. What happens? How does the child get to school? So I'm telling you that the fuel issue will be a major determinant. Then, of course, because of fuel again, schools have had to increase their school fees, apart from bus fee, because they have to also pay those teachers. The teachers are also part of the society, and they need to also earn a living to also meet their own obligations. So a lot of schools have also increased their school fees just to meet up with the realities on ground. So a parent who has 3 children in a school and school fees has been increased by 30% or 40% might not be able to meet up with that. So a lot of parents, I suppose, will sit down this time and have a town hall meeting with their children, or a family meeting with their children, and decide that this is what we're going to do now. And I've always said that the best school for your child is not that school where you pay, whatever, maybe X amount or Y amount. The best school for your child is that school where you can conveniently and comfortably pay the school fees and still have the time to make input in your child's education. Because even if you pay 1 billion for your child's school fees and you don't have the time to go through what that child is learning, I'm telling you that you are not maximizing that fee you're paying, because a parent's input must be in the education of the child. So it's not even just about fees. It's not how much you pay. You could pay a lesser amount and have more time to help your child thrive in the school. So these are the realities that parents will be dealing with, especially in cosmopolitan cities like Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and so on, meeting the realities on ground. And I pray that God helps parents make a sound decision. Don't make a decision based on, I don't want people to think that we have gone down. No. Everybody knows where it's pinching them and where it's itching them. If it's a lesser school right now that is your reality, face it and give your child the maximum attention. So those are the realities for changing of schools. Of course, there are people who change school for frivolous reasons anyway, and some also change because they are going somewhere, and that is totally wrong. Pay, and even if you have to change. But I'm talking of the economic realities on ground. I am a parent, and I know what it's like at this point to cough out some good money to pay and meet up with other obligations. And coming to the one of buying new school supplies, I am not one of those parents who buy new school supplies every September. If I have bought a bag for you in March, I will tell you that bag, when September resumes, you're going to use it. Because there's no law. I've not seen any policy written anywhere where they say that as you resume the new school year, everything must be new.
Everything must change.
Even your school building is not new. It's still the building you were in before. Even if it's a new school, the school was existing before you came. So I'm not that. But again, hey, everybody has their own destiny. Some parents believe in that new school uniform, new school this. If you have the money, these are our children, give them the best anyway, But I'm just saying that whatever is your reality right now, manage your reality and your children's expectations. Our children actually listen to us. manage their expectations that you have to use this. As long as it's clean, it's kept well, you use it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Like we're talking about having to prepare for the new session. Now, how do you think parents can help their kids, their children, prepare for the new session physically, emotionally, and even spiritually? Because definitely we have, like we mentioned, there are some people that they have to change their kids' school. There are some people that there are some kids that they have to meet different a new set of people. And this is the set of people that they've not met before. They don't know their character. And you also know that there are some students that are bullies. You understand? So how can a parent help their child to settle down accordingly?
Okay, I expect that by now, for most schools, I think schools are resuming on the 16th again. I believe in physical preparation, I believe in mental preparation, emotional preparation, and like you added, the spiritual preparation. Physical preparation, because these children have been at home from July, some middle of July, they had vacated and all.
Yeah.
So timing, some homes have changed their routine. You can sleep a bit later, wake up a bit later. But from this week, most parents should begin to readjust the timetable so that physical preparation, the child is already getting prepared that schools will resume school soon. So I sleep at this time and wake up at school time, so that it's not a shock, especially for those smaller ones. You have the smaller ones that just feel that they are doing their parents a favor by going to school. They don't want to go to school, but let's just do our parents a favor of going. You have to start early now to make them sleep at the appropriate time, wake up at the appropriate time. And also the older ones, you have to talk with them, their gadgets, their phones, if they're the ones that have access to phones. What time do they submit those phones? Like in my own house, when my son had phone, you bring your phone by 7 p.m., you drop it in front of the TV there, so that I'll be seeing it, seeing it. Because sometimes when you allow them with these phones, you see them on the phone 12 midnight, tapping and so on. And then that means something will give in. They will not sleep well and they will not learn well in school. So these are the physical preparations. And then are your socks clean, your books, if they are the ones that they buy books, things like that. You are physically prepared them. And then if your child is going to a new school, physically take the child to that school before the school resumes. Go around the school. I know that most schools, before school resumes for new students, they can come in, even the old students, to know their new class, meet their class teachers, maybe that weekend or 2 weekends before school resumption. So these are physical preparation, especially for people going to new schools. They know the routes to take, they know where the school is. So, by the time they resume on that day with new uniform, everything is not looking so new to them. It's not a shock, so to say, because they've come to that school 2 or 3 times, they've played on the playground and things. And these things are things that you need to do for your child's psychology to help them manage, the school term, because the way they start is also very important, And then you also meet the teachers, I always advocate that probably a week before the resumption, because teachers resume earlier than the students, that if it's a new school, or even because every child is going to a new class anyway this September, so there will be new teachers, so to say, for that new class. So you're able to talk with the class teacher, this is how my child is. And I tell parents, it is not the duty of the teacher to first discover how your child is. No. A teacher has like 20 students or 18 students or 15, as the case may be, in a class. So when will that teacher be able to discover all the children personally before the school term is over? So, and that's why I tell parents, invest in understanding your child's learning style, understand how your child learns, so that in this new school year, you are able to speak with the teacher ahead of time. That, this is how my child learns. My child is a kinesthetic learner. She likes to learn with her hands. So, when Kenny comes to school right now, teachers, you keep teaching, try and incorporate activities with the hand. Of course, every good teacher should know that, but these are things you're already giving them heads up. It's okay, my son is very restless, very restless. So when he sits, please, sometimes tell him to just stand up and move around the class at the back there and come back to sit. You will see him, he will be very, you see, these are things that a good teacher will begin to take points, because teachers have less than 10 weeks or 12 weeks in this term. And if it's one week, they even spend to discover one child, they will not finish it before the end of the term.
Yeah.
So you've already spoken with the teacher, you're managing the teacher's expectations, and so on. And then most schools also have what they call an orientation at the beginning of each term to make the school, the parents understand what they're going to teach, especially for early years. You know, I used to say there's this confusion about, you know, every school has what they adopt for reading styles and so on. If you don't communicate to the parents, or the parents do not ask, you see parents doing one thing at home and the child, but because the child is still like 2 or 3 years, the child can't tell you this is the one we're using in our school. And you see them, they're just, you know, you're doing with the child. So that's for physical preparation. Your socks, your whatever is ready, your hair, you are losing your braids by now. I mean, all the slave queen during the holiday, you should be rounding it up this week and begin to have your normal weeks and so on. Okay, then mentally, you're also speaking with the child. You know, if you understand, if your child, let's assume is a struggling learner, has struggled, you know, and so on, mentally begin to build the resilience of that child. If your child is going to secondary school, begin to tell the child, oh, these are the things, you know, in secondary school, you're going to write a longer notes, you're going to have people from different, and you know, for JS1, especially JS1 you're not doing in your school where you finished your primary school, it's a whole lot of, it's a baggage of different things, because you're going to have children from different schools coming. Begin to build the mental capacity of your child. And if it's a boarding school the child is going to, I mean, you have more work to do to be able to build the mental capacity of the child, to be able to withstand. I'm not just about bullying, you know, I know a lot of schools have zero tolerance to bullying, but also just for the child to be able to know that I have come in here, you know, I'm responsible for myself, so help me God, you know, and is able to stand, you know, emotionally as well, because some children are also being disconnected from their previous schools, like we just said earlier about the fuel crisis and the fuel price and so on. So some students have been in a school for 5 years, and I kid you not, they have made friends with their friends, they have their clique, their favorite teachers, you know, and all of a sudden they have to yank them out of that school to another school, you know, because of fuel, not because they didn't do well, you know, and things like that. So you need to manage the emotional aspect for those children and tell them, no, I used to tell my children, we meet to part and we part to meet. That is life, you know, that you are never stuck with people, that even I, your parents, at some point you're going to leave home, you know, and it will be phone calls till you come and visit and all. So manage the emotional being for them, that, oh, don't worry, you're going to make new friends, and that is what life is all about. And then, like my daughter was telling her, I said, get the email addresses of your schoolmates, get their social media and for the ones on social media. I said, your even generation is luckier than us. I don't know where my primary school mates are, because in those days, there were no emails, you know, and so on. But you guys are lucky. You know, some of them already on Instagram, get their handle. Some already, you have emails, take their emails. You're already lifelong friends, though you are in another part of, you know, you're not in that school anymore. So these are how you manage the emotional being, so that they are connected, you know, and they feel they come into this school with an open mind to make new friends and to adapt to the realities on ground. And finally, the spiritual. I used to tell people that for every school your child goes to, there must be a spiritual connection that made you even take that child there, you know. And of course, you have to pray for them, pray with them, you know, and also encourage them to pray. And depending if it's a faith-based school, you know, there will be some spiritual programs and all. But of course, as a parent, you have the responsibility to prophesy over your children before they go to school, pray with them and things like that, and always pray for them. I think I spent more time on that.
Yes, really.
Yeah, thank you so much. I wish we could go on and on, you know, in the conversation, because we have like lots of questions. I'm sure that, you know, we would want to definitely ask all of these questions, but we are actually running out of time, and we would like to call it a wrap here on the discussion segment.
Before we call it a wrap, can you just tell parents something, just give them like an advice,
A word of encouragement.
Word of encouragement, yeah, for the preparation of
I
the
just
new
want to
session.
encourage, it's not even an advice, just encouragement. My dear fellow parents, I know it's not an easy time at all. To be frank, it's not easy, you know, but what I keep saying is that the Lord who has given us these children will make the provisions. You know, I know that some parents, you know, this week they might have to take more high blood pressure medicine because the bills, you know, it's a new school year. Normally, new school year, even without fried crisis, is heavy because you have to pay for new things, new books, and so on. You know, but God will make a way. Yeah. Just trust Him, believe Him, and cut your coat according to your material right now, not according to your size. Just if the material is 2 yards, just cut them according to 2 yards. You know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Once again. Thank you. I'm sure you've heard all what our guest has said. Cut your coat according to your material and not your size. We are with you to all dear parents. We are with you, and I'm sure God will make everything, all supplies you need, all resources rather, you need to make sure that your children go to a very good school. Definitely God will provide all for you.
Amen.
Yeah, we'll go on a short break. So we'll be back with Daybreak Africa. So stay with us.